Hitting six figures often inadvertently forces you into the role of the family bank.
The first $100,000 is a bitch, but you gotta do it. I don't care what you have to do. Find a way to get your hands on $100,000. That famous advice from the late Charlie Munger is the most repeated rule in personal finance, but savers often misinterpret it. They hit the six-figure mark, look at their account balance, and immediately let off the gas. They treat that $100K like a finish line where they can finally relax. In reality, passing $100,000 flips a switch in the financial industry. You undergo an identity shift. You upgrade from an ignored saver to a highly lucrative sales lead. If you only have 10 or 20 grand to your name, an insurance salesman or a high-fee wealth advisor doesn't see you as a big enough target. But at six figures, the economics of selling you complex financial products suddenly make perfect sense. Reaching $100,000 means you have to actively defend your money from an industry designed to siphon it back. The first layer of extraction happens quietly at your local bank. They profit directly off your complacency by holding your unoptimized, lazy cash. The average savings account in America earns just 0.38% APY. At that rate, a $10,000 deposit earns about $38 over a year. Move that same cash to a modern high-yield account, and it earns closer to $400. You leave hundreds of dollars on the table just by leaving your money where it currently sits. Then comes the active sales pitch. Advisors target newly wealthy individuals with these sophistication sell. They convince you that you've outgrown simple indexed funds and need active private management. This chart shows the devastating math of that sophistication. A $100,000 portfolio growing at 8% over 30 years reaches about $1 million. Drop that return to 7% for a 1% advisor fee, and you end up with $761,000, revealing a massive gap. You hand over almost $250,000 to someone whose main service is often putting you in an ETF you could have bought yourself. Whole life insurance is pitched the exact same way. Salespeople emphasize a cash value component that grows tax-free. What they don't tell you is that your monthly premiums for the first 5 to 10 years barely fund that cash value. The money goes directly into the salespeople's pocket as a commission. The financial industry intentionally rebrands complex and expensive products as sophisticated, using it as a mechanism to legally extract a quarter of your lifetime wealth. But the industry isn't the only threat. A psychological delusion hits right around the six-figure mark. People look at their balance and assume they are now an investing genius, ready to graduate from boring ETFs to crypto, options, and concentrated stock positions. This chart breaks down the composition of your first $100,000. Saving $1,000 monthly for 7 years means 84% comes from raw deposits. Only 16% is market return. A 5-year bull market simply masks that raw saving discipline as personal genius. This delusion makes people waste enormous energy micro-optimizing their portfolios, debating whether a 0.03% expense ratio beats a 0.07% one. Meanwhile, negotiating a $10,000 raise at your job provides 10 times the financial impact of perfectly optimizing a $100K account. Raw saving discipline is what actually built your money. Abandoning that boring consistency to chase complex speculation is exactly how you destroy it. There is a localized threat to this milestone, too. Hitting six figures often inadvertently forces you into the role of the family bank. You will feel immense social pressure to loan money to friends or relatives for car repairs or business ideas. Giving out these loans almost always results in a highly negative financial and relational return. Even worse is the pressure to co-sign a loan. You might think you're doing a favor, but you are taking on a severe financial liability. Co-signing literally means loaning out your own hard-earned credit score to a borrower who isn't qualified to get a loan on their own. You are assuming 100% of the institutional liability if they miss a payment. Protecting your wealth requires ruthless boundaries. Your capital and your credit score are hard assets, and you cannot outsource them to cover other people's liabilities. Which brings us back to Charlie Munger's advice. If you take your foot off the gas at $100,000, you stall out just as the math begins to work in your favor. The 100K mark is mostly psychological. The actual mathematical threshold you need to reach is something called the crossover point. This chart shows the crossover point in action. It's the exact moment when your portfolio's annual yield exceeds your personal cash contributions.
If you invest $20,000 a year and earn an 8% return, your portfolio's gains won't beat your $20,000 deposit until the account reaches exactly $250,000. Hitting this specific threshold shifts the heavy lifting of wealth creation. Your personal labor is no longer the primary driver. The market's compounding momentum takes over, and your net worth accelerates past your own physical ability to save. Surviving the first 6 figures requires objecting systemic sales pitches, defending your credit, and maintaining boring consistency until compound interest finally takes over.